Shalom. My name is Moreh IshiYAH Yisrael from the House of Israel in Cincinnati, Ohio, 2330 Kemper Lane, bringing to you in 40 minutes or less. In 40 minutes or less, I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt the word of Yahweh. Who is this Yahweh? Yahweh is the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein. Yahweh is the Elohim of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael, whom you may know as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh is our judge. Yahweh is our lawgiver. Yahweh is our king, who will save us. Shalom. Welcome to another program of 40 minutes or less. In today's program, in lesson number 22, we will deal with the Old Testament versus the New Testament, the Son of Yahweh, the Son of the Most High, the true Son of the Most High. According to the New Testament, they will have you to believe that Christ is the only begotten Son of Yahweh. Not only this is not true, but we're going to prove it in 40 minutes or less. We're going to prove to you who Yahweh said out of his mouth, who his Son is. And we're going to begin our lesson in Proverbs, the 30th chapter. So let us go there. In the book of Proverbs 30, we're going to start reading at the very first verse. And this is what it says. The words of Agur, the son of Yahweh, even the prophecy, the man spoke unto Ithiel, even unto Ithiel and Ukal. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. I neither learn wisdom nor have the knowledge of the holy. Who have ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who have bound the waters in a garment? Who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? And you should be able to tell this. Why? Because Yahweh said who his son's name was out of his own mouth. Every word of Elohim is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. And this is what you're going to see in today's program. You're going to see all the various religious bodies be found a liar, all the world powers be found a liar, all the various nations found a liar, because they're not telling you what thus says Yahweh. They're not telling you the true Son of Elohim, the true Son of the Most High. But we are. Watch what the scripture says. The first place that I want you to turn is in the book of Exodus, the 4th chapter. And let's see if this is what they're teaching you. Exodus 4. In the book of Exodus, the 4th chapter, and we're going to read the 22nd and the 23rd verse. And this is what the Creator said. Watch what it says. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith Yahweh. See, this is what Yahweh said. This is not what a third party said or anybody else said. This is what Yahweh said. Thus says Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. And I may add, this is exactly what Yahweh did unto Pharaoh and unto Egypt. Their firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast was killed. And this is the first time that Yahweh had called anybody his son in the scriptures. And since it was the first time, it's not a coincidence that Yahweh said this is his firstborn. But this is his firstborn nation. It's still a son, but among the nations, this is firstborn. Because watch another scripture to confirm this truth. In Exodus, the 4th chapter, we're going to go to Hosea, the 11th chapter. Turn there, Hosea, the 11th chapter, just to establish what we just read. The Almighty said, let every matter be established by 2 or 3 witnesses. And watch what it says. In the book of Hosea, the 11th chapter, the very first verse. When Israel was a child, then I loved him. And I called my son out of Egypt. He called his son out of Egypt. Because Israel is his son. So how can Christ be the only begotten son? And you're going to see further that this is a lie. And everyone and all the people that believe this and teach this will be found liars. So among the nations of the world, Israel is his son. Furthermore, just to let you know that this was no allegory or anything like this, Yahweh gonna let you know he is a father. If you turn your books to the book of Malachi, the last book in the Old Testament, the book of Malachi says this in the 1st chapter. Malachi, the 1st chapter, and this is what it says in the 6th verse. Malachi 1 and 6. A son honors his father. He should. And a servant his master. If then I be a father, where's my honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear, says Yahweh of hosts unto you, O priests that despise my name? And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? In other words, Yahweh, he's a father. And since he's a father, he has a son. And since we're his sons, should not we honor him? Of course we should. Same thing in the book of Malachi, the 2nd chapter. Watch what it says. Malachi 2, and we're going to read the 10th verse. And this is what it says. Have we not all one Father? And the answer is yes. Have not one Elohim created us? Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother by profaning the covenant of our fathers? We only got one Father, and who is that? Yahweh. because we are the sons of Yahweh. So this is his son amongst the nations. But watch this in the book of Jeremiah 31. Let us turn there. What are we talking about? The Old Testament versus the New Testament. Because you'll read two different things. They're two different doctrines, a total contradiction of one another. And we're going to make the crooked thing straight. And we're going to show you the true words, the unadulterated word of Yahweh in the book of Jeremiah 31. This is what it says in the 9th verse, talking about the Son of Yahweh. In the book of Jeremiah 31, this is what it says. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Well, how can you have two firstborn? I thought Israel was the firstborn. Well, Israel is his firstborn among the nations. But amongst the tribes of Israel, Ephraim is his firstborn tribe. Yes, even though he was a son of Joseph, but Yahweh made him the firstborn because of the sin of Reuben. Ephraim is his firstborn amongst the tribes. Israel is his firstborn amongst the nations. But then Yahweh will even go further. And let's see where he go in the book of Psalms 89. In the book of Psalms 89, still dealing with the son of Yahweh. Israel in the nations, Ephraim amongst the tribes. But watch this. In the book of Psalms 89, we're going to start reading in the 19th verse. Then thou spakest in vision to thy Holy One, and says, I've laid help upon one that is mighty. I have exalted one chosen out of the people. I have found David my servant. With my holy oil have I anointed him, with whom my hand shall be established. My arm also shall strengthen him. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him. And I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my name shall his horn be exalted. I will set his hand also in the sea, and his right hand in the rivers. He shall cry unto me, thou art my Father, my Elohim, the rock of my salvation. Also, I will make him my firstborn, higher than the kings of the earth. You see that? You see what that said? Is that what you're being taught in church? Is this what the nation's teaching? In other words, Israel is his firstborn nation. Ephraim is his firstborn tribe. And amongst the kings of the earth, David is his firstborn son. Yes, David. And not only is David his firstborn son, amongst the kings of the earth, you're going to see how David, according to the scriptures, was the one that Yahweh said, I've begotten thee. And I just want you to see this. I want you to see the truth. And you'll find this in the book of Psalms 2. Psalms 2. And let us turn there. In the book of Psalms 2, we're going to read verse 1 through 12. It's only 12 verses, but I just want you to see this and watch what it says. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. Yahweh shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. Yahweh have said unto me, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. This is a psalm of David, not a psalm of Christ. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, ye kings. Be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. That's not talking about Christ, that's talking about David. Because David is the begotten son of Yahweh. And he is the son that Yahweh have chosen, elected among the kings of the earth. And furthermore, Yahweh didn't just have a nation as a son, a tribe as his firstborn, David amongst the kings of the earth. Yahweh even had sons in heaven called angels. And you'll read about his sons in heaven in the book of Job, the first chapter. And let us turn to the book of Job so you can see what I'm telling you is the truth. And anything different, they'll be found a liar. Because they're not going to show you, you're not going to see, thus says Yahweh. And watch what it says in Job, the first chapter. And we're going to go right to it, the 6th verse. Now, there was a day when the sons of Elohim, I told you, you got heavenly sons, came to present themselves before Yahweh. And Satan came also among them. And who are these sons, heavenly sons? Who are these sons that's amongst the angels? Well, in the scriptures, Yahweh only named 2 by name. You see many angels interacting with mankind, but only 2 were named. And let me show you their names. in the book of Daniel, the 8th chapter. That's the first place I want you to see. Daniel, the 8th chapter. Talking about the sons of Yahweh. He got earthly sons. He got son as a king. He got a son as a nation, son as a tribe, and a heavenly son. And it still won't be Christ. Watch this. In the book of Daniel, the 8th chapter, the 16th verse. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of YAHWEH, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. In other words, this is what he came to do. And who? Gabriel. And there's only one other name you will see amongst the angels that's recorded in the scriptures. And you'll see this in the book of Daniel, the 10th chapter. Let us turn there. And you notice, amongst these sons of Elohim in heaven, it's still not Christ. Watch this. Daniel, the 10th chapter, the 13th verse. And this is what it says. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Micaiah, one of the chief princes, came to help me. And I remained there with the kings of Persia. This is one of the chief princes. And not only it tell you he's one of the chief princes, look at the 21st verse. And this is what it says. And I will show thee that which is noted in the scriptures of truth. And there's none that hold it with me in these things, but Michael, your prince. In other words, the only one that know what I'm about to tell you is not all the hundreds and thousands of angels that I know. The only one that know this is me and the chief prince. What we about to tell you. And the last scripture on this is Daniel, the 12th chapter. And watch what it says in the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, the very first verse. And this is what it says. And at that time shall Michael stand up. And who is Michael? The chief prince. The great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that will be found written in a book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they shall be wise, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words, seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And knowledge is being increased. But are you listening to the knowledge that's being increased? Do you accept the knowledge that's being increased? And if you do, and if you are, then you will see, as we just showed you, the true Son of Yahweh, the Son of the Most High. And until our next program, Yahweh love you, and so do I. Shalom.